bunch of my brother's friends came over. And yeah, that was, I don't remember how, it seemed like I was only there for a few days. We were working on the place, and then I was driving, as I was driving back down to Vermont, I had mellowed out, and was starting to decide, like, plan what I was going to do next, and stopped at that park, the National Forest in New Hampshire. For some reason I was still really amped up. There was this parking lot up in that place in New Hampshire. There was a white Dodge Neon. It had "Just Married" written on the back window, and there was this young couple. They were hanging out down by the river, and I was watching them for a while. That was after I had gone up. I had decided at that point that I wasn't going to do the ransom thing. I didn't think it would work that well anyway, because I didn't have a picture. You know, all I had was their cell phone, so I didn't think it was going to be worth it. So I just decided to burn the suitcases and all that stuff. So I went up in the woods there in New Hampshire, and on my way back down, I saw this couple down the river. I don't know. I remember what I was thinking. I was thinking the gun I had, the .22, I was like, well, I'm going to have to throw the barrel and the bolt away anyway. I should use it again. And but there was fortunately for that couple, there was a park ranger. I didn't see him, but I saw his truck, so I figured he was out in the woods somewhere. I didn't want to take the risk that he came walking out of the woods or something. So yeah, I just hung out there and watched him for a while, and then I went started driving back to Vermont. Drove past where I parked the car in that parking lot, the apartment complex. That's where I had moved after I came back from driving their car up to the bank. I left their car at that apartment complex, and then parked my car a few spaces away and moved all the stuff out of their trunk, all their suitcases and stuff. I moved it into the back of my car. But anyway, I drove back by on my way through Vermont, and I saw the crime scene tape, and I saw that I think at that time the dumpster right next to where I parked the car, I think that was gone too. So I knew that they were taking it seriously, and at that point I was glad that I hadn't used the phone or tried to do the ransom thing. I honestly didn't expect the cops to get on it that fast. I just figured, yeah, because I was going to have, originally I was thinking I would keep them at that house and maybe stay in Vermont another night, or at least keep her alive and have her call into her work. And but the house was just too close, like there was too much traffic, and I was worried about hanging out in the area with all that stuff. But yeah, that's what I was thinking originally, is that if she had called into work, told them that there was an emergency or something, that they never would have got the search warrant on the house. The cops never would have even gone by. But as it was, they figured out pretty quick that there was something not right about the situation. And yeah, so by the time, I think it was less than a week, I was in Maine. So by the time I drove back down through, I realized that they already knew something serious had happened just from the crime scene tape. And there's a ferry that crosses what's that big lake there? I think it's Lake Champlain. And I was going to take the ferry back across to New York. I stopped at a little gas station and picked up a newspaper and was reading the articles about their disappearance. And sure enough, there was quite a bit in there about their disappearance. Like, it was clear that the police already suspected the worst, because they had the family do they did a press conference, and the family, I guess they did an appeal to the public or appeal to the kidnappers or whatever. And I didn't see that until later, but I read about it in the paper, so I just decided it was better to get out of Vermont and go back to New York. So I went back to New York and hung out there for a day or two. And that's when I found that little boat launch. Did some fishing there and decided that was a good spot to drop the guns. I was going to keep their gun, but I decided it was pretty obvious that it was a brand new gun, and I was pretty sure it would be registered to them, so I figured it was probably better if I just tossed it. I didn't want to have it buried in the same bucket with mine, so yeah, I tossed it in that reservoir along with the parts from the Ruger.